Sweet, sweet, sweet dreams. Hey, Kathy, 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 girl. Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now. I don't know. I haven't even double checked. Am I online and do I have any voice? You guys can hear me? Can you hear me now? Too low? How about that? Is that better? Talk to me. Let me know you can hear me. I don't have to put headsets on. It says we're streaming, so what the hell now? Excellent connection. 3 concurrent viewers. We're not going to get rich this way, but I don't think we came here to get rich, did we? No, we didn't. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Oh, that's for damn sure. Yes, I can hear you fine. What's up, Kathy? Thank you, Yachty. Get your clothes, Kathy, because you're coming with me, baby. Grab your clothes, honey. Get your clothes, girl. Yes, of course, Kathy would send me this notice about men stranded on a desert island. After wandering around for a while, they found some tribesmen. Back to their hut, the chief tells them go out in the jungle and collect 10 pieces of fruit. The first guy returns with 10 apples. Chief says, now shove them up your ass without showing any emotion, or we'll kill you. He shoves up the first one up, and it is terrible pain, but shows no emotion. But during the process of pushing the second one, he flinches, and therefore he gets shot. The second guy comes back with 10 cherries, is told to do the same thing. He's finding it relatively easy, but when he gets to the 8th cherry, he starts laughing hysterically and gets shot. He meets up with the first guy in heaven, and the first guy asks, why did you do that? Why did you laugh? The second guy replies, well, I nearly finished when I saw the next guy walking up with pineapples. Gathering large fruit to put up your butt. Well, everybody's kinky, and I would expect that coming from our lovely Kathy. All right. All right, see me fine. I see you fine. It's my younger brother. Okay, so what do we have going on today, everyone? What's going on in your lives? Pineapples are too big for your butt. Just remember that. That's the moral of the story. The Earl moral of the story. That's a reference only Striper would get out of this group. You couldn't help yourself shoving fruit up your butt. I guess that would be considered the sweet science. I don't know, probably not. The sweetness of whatever shit. I got so many things. Stuff to do. I'm going to use some different equipment on my guitar and try and make things clear so they're less distorted, but I'm not doing it. I would do it for Friday if I get it all installed today. Just trying to bring the best to you. The best of me to you. Parumple. Parumple. The sweet science of fruit up your butt. Yes, pearls of wisdom. Hello, Claire. Good morning. Do not shove pineapples up your butt. That would hurt. Pineapples are rough around the edges. Yes, it has nothing to do with the girth. It's just the roughness of it. Probably if you can take a pineapple, you can take a small VW Beetle up there. Okay. Later on today, I'm going to go run. to see if I can lose some weight. Well, don't start out too quickly. You start out moderately. I used to be able to run for miles. I don't even think about it anymore. I walk now. Not enough, but I do. Pearls of wisdom, pearls of jam. That would be pearl jam, wouldn't it? Pineapples up your butt. Here, come on, let me help you. You could sit down a little, it would be easier. Terms of endearment. Come on, sit down. Just sit down. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt you. Hello, Bing. It wouldn't hurt Bing, would it? No. Car park. Bing's going to park cars today. All right, so let us move along and think about some other things that are going on. So what is the consensus on Saturday night? Doing it earlier is not going to be the answer, my dear, darling Claire. Because what happens as people come in waves, they're coming and coming again. It's usually the same people, but still. The time just gets longer for Joe Daddy, that fictional character who I like to call me. It becomes too much. So we're going to need to limit the broadcast in the evening. Unless you want me at some point to say, okay, now we're going to throw it to there, and someone else can take it and have it. No, I actually worked hard at it. That was just off the top of my head, Claire. But it was the flop voice. Yes, I listened to the cartoons, and then I entered it. You know, they said they got it. But, you know, I mean, come on. It's going around the world. There'll be people that do it. But what I tried to capitalize, or not capitalize on, what I tried to do was what they did, because Bing is very thoughtful. He's thoughtful. Bing isn't thoughtful. Flop is thoughtful. Yes, Bing. Oh, yes, Bing. Excellent. Dry underpants. Yes. So, you know, it was fun. It was fun to do. We'll see what happens. But it was a joy to do. It felt like I was getting back into work. So, we come over and over when Joe is around. Damn. I think you can make some money at that. Even an hour, huh? I know, but, well, if I come on at 6, we're going to go off at, you know, 9. I've been sitting here, and but why are you not staying here? You know, it gets kind of raucous. And so, I mean, it's nothing personal, you know. A couple hours and I'm ready to go, to leave. It's nothing you said or nothing anyone did. It's just, come on. That's what it is. I'll have other things to do, like just sit on my ass and veg out and go to sleep. We were on last Saturday night, Yachty, weren't you there? And your internet has trouble at night. At first, when I read that too quickly, as I want to do, I thought it said my interest seems to have trouble at night. I was going to say, oh, well, excuse me. Yeah, I know. Ah, well, that's very nice of you, Yachty. We'll see if we can get him around the next time as well. Yes, internet's, I don't know what the deal is. Hey, Jennifer is here. Vitamin Gen K. So, Jen, did you park your car and then have to walk home? Park your car. Park. Did you park your car? Let's see, your interests are great at night. I know that, dear, really. What did Striper do? Sword in the stone. Oh no, not that again. Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie, did you get your zoot suit on and you go walking around diddy bopping around the street? People are going to think you're a pimp, you know. You wear elevated shoes or be, what up? It just won't start after work. Perhaps it is less excited as before you began work. Need a new battery. Oh, the story of your lives, I'm sure. Oh, what kind? Oh, you mean an automobile battery. Elizabeth, hello. Elizabeth is here. Jennifer is here. Striper's here. Yachty's here. Claire's here. And Kathy, boom, boom, is everywhere. You have a ways to go before it fits properly. I'm pretty sure when it fits properly, it will seem as bizarre today as it did back then when they wore them. But, you know, I'm sure you'll get a lot of attention in it. Oh no, not that battery. Better to get one that plugs in the wall, I think. To do the adulting. Oh. Is that like the adultery thing combined into one word, adulting? Probably not. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, we have conversations that are from the movies to batteries. It's going all over the place. And that's okay. So I will just pick and choose. Read, pick and choose. Oh no, not that battery. Oh no, not that battery. Oh, not that battery. Claire, I don't have any privacy. I don't have any privacy or want that privacy anymore or want that anymore. What is it? You don't want batteries or you don't want privacy or privacy. What is it? You don't. Oh, the wires do get in the way. Extension cords are excellent for that kind of thing because you can just be hanging off, you know, at the foot of the bed for someone who might be entering from that area. What do you mean? Oh, forget I said that. Yes, wires could get in the way. There's enough wire. Well, I'm not going to suggest anything because someone might try it, and then, you know, next thing you know, they'll be running this tape in front of a courtroom. Anyway. Good tip. Save your money. Good tip. Of your hat. Yes. I have no... I'm going to be using this. It looks complicated, doesn't it? But it isn't. It's called an interface. You know, you stick it in your face. Not a big deal, just starting to drive. Yeah, sometimes the drive wanes for sure. I'm surprised for you. I mean, as you get older, sometimes it does. I sure to get lots of attention when I wore that at my sister's wedding, sort of stole the attention from the bride and groom. Ah, always must be careful of doing those things, but I'm sure, wasn't it your sister's wedding? Yeah, so what the fuck? You can say, hey, that's my whacked out brother. What do you expect? He's stylish. He's wearing retro clothes to the wedding. That's all. You're retro. I mean, I wouldn't try that everywhere, I mean. Who ran us all off? Lots of attention, Jennifer. No big deal. Just don't have any. Yes, okay. Hey, Charlie. Hi, Yadi, Yadira. Horses for courses. Horses for courses. I like that. That is a horse racing euphemism for, sort of to each his own. I mean, this is a course. I mean, this is an oval track, but most horses are on, oval track. So that's steeplechase. So yeah. So if you're a steeplechase horse and you're jumping over, then that'd be a horse for that course. Whereas if you were running flats in an oval, you were on the steeplechase, your horse might run right into the bush, which means it wouldn't be a horse for that course. See? Okay. Joe Daddy is not a zoot suit kind of guy ever, even when if they were ever fashionable outside of, the inner city. Yeah, I don't think it's my style. But I mean, it is a statement. Style and statement usually have nothing to, well, they sometimes have something to do with one another. But for example, if during the typical rush hour before coronavirus in New York City, you would take a photograph and see if men are wearing suits and what suits they're wearing. In Los Angeles or San Francisco, then you can get a feel for the style of the times. Business attire, I mean. There are far fewer suits, although I heard they were coming back, so I don't know. I still have suits in the closet. I have tuxedos in the closet. I have clothes in the closet. From the big shoulder pads to the relaxed shoulder pad. Yadi, you seem to be a big fan of the birthday suit. It's an interesting concept, I guess. Very few people I know would really like to show their birthday suit off in public, usually. Usually. Joe Daddy has his birthday suit on. It is underneath his clothes. That's right. I second that emotion. Well, it was just my imagination coming all over me. Oh, it's coming. It was just my imagination coming over me. That's right. She had the most beautiful smile I'd ever come across. Let's see. Can you believe in New York hospitals they're killing the patients during COVID? That's kind of a broad statement when you say, Yanni. Can you believe in New York hospitals they are killing the patients during this COVID? What do you mean? I mean, the caregivers are excellent in New York. I know that for a fact. They even cared for Joe Daddy once. So I will tell you this. I don't believe they're doing it on purpose. What is your evidence? Please state your case. Do you really think, Charlie, from a zoot suit perspective, I mean a style perspective, that suit is going to make him get on his knees and come running to you? On his knees, I'm not sure, but But really, you're putting a lot of emphasis on the attire. He will see the weight loss no matter what it is. It is, as I would often tell someone, many here who are here, that you make those clothes look amazing. Never say to someone, that looks great on you. Because why would you say that? I would never say that. That looks great on you. Because I would think, so it looks better on someone else. Or doesn't, or you've seen it around. I would say, that, wow, you make that dress look amazing. Put the dress in a lower score than the person in it. You see? Joe Daddy tips. Okay. But you'll be like, nope, can't touch it. Can't touch it. Okay. Can't touch this. I can't touch it. Okay. Is that right? Yes, okay. Yadi, I need more information, hon. Can you believe New York hospitals? No, that song doesn't really have legs. Yes. Perhaps you do. Perhaps you do. Naughty Kathy. You too, Claire. It's like in golf. You can't just hold the tip of it. You have to have the entire shaft. Or your balls go nowhere. And they just sit there. But if you have the shaft, the balls, they fly. Striper, you shouldn't say things like that. It would be as if you know that. Oh, my tip, yes, about compliments, yes. So, let's see. Is anyone watching Dead to Me? Interesting. I could only watch a couple episodes at a time because it gets a bit silly, but it's funny. I did watch because I have Xfinity, and they are offering now, they have these things called Peacock. I didn't even know it existed. They have old movies on there, which are really good. And then now they also have Stars on Demand. So I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again last night. I had never seen it at home. I only saw it at the theater when it came out, but those two guys were remarkable. Both nominated for Academy Awards. Brad Pitt, as we know, did win Best Supporting Actor. Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. You can always know his movies because at the end it is total chaos and death and mayhem. which is fun. And it was lightly interlaced with history about the Manson family. Yeah. Years and years. It's very good. Years and years. I'll have to look into years and years. Through the years when everything was wrong, or something like that. What is it? Okay, what's the article about it? Please do enlighten Joe Daddy. I know that they have refrigerator trucks set up because the mortuaries or the funeral homes are overwhelmed with deceased bodies. Emma Thompson. Oh, yeah, I like Emma Thompson. Her cousin was Enema Thompson, right? She was a pip. Enamame. It's their Asian cousin. Enamame. Ooh. Wanted to. Anyway, we could do the change the lyrics of that. Mama. Enamama. No, Enamama. Okay, I don't know how that's wandered down there, but it did. Probably my doing. I'm the only one I can hear here. I can read you, but I can read you pretty well sometimes. Sometimes I miss you completely, but otherwise I can read you. You know what I mean? Yes. Let's see what we have here. Ah, Rosati's. Yes, Rosati's. Rosati's. And for the tons of Bed Bath & Beyond, 20% off, $10 off. I have all these Bed Bath & Beyond things, and I go to Bed Bath & Beyond and they're closed. I like Bed Bath & Beyond. But you know what? You can still order online and use your coupons. Abuse your coupons if you can. Shoot, that lady. I talked to a lady today about some shit, and then I have to do some work. I hate to have to do any work. I mean, my list every day gets longer and longer. It does. And, you know, we're in quarantine. How is that even possible? We're not in quarantine. We're just like in, you know. Oh, but good news for everyone. The golf courses have opened up to all counties. So if you want to go into a different county that I am often doing, now you can. They try to reduce the number of people. But still, it's a bit awkward because only one person in one cart. All fish and chips are closed. Perhaps you can make your own. I'm sure you do. I love Beyond. I love the Beyond. Oh, yes, you do. Well, New Jersey opened up the parks and golf courses, but that may change. Well, you got an Irishman running the place named Murphy. Is Murphy the one? Or is that in Pennsylvania? Yours is not the same, requires a lot more effort. It should be easier on Mum, though. I cannot imagine. I admire all of you women with and men, of course, but the women especially that are tasked with fixing meals for the family and always trying to, change it up or do something. And then part of the meal process would include the treats. So like, takeout or delivery. And if they were closed, what you like, then that would really be a bummer. Governor Clown. That's an interesting name. Governor Clown. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Governor Clown. Hello, everybody. Does he walk around with balloons? Governor Clown does. His balloons hanging out. Governor Clown in OR, which means Oregon. Perhaps it should be the Governor Clown in Oz, OZ. The worst part about a meal is planning for the family is that everyone always wants something different or special. I see. We never had that option as children. When you're older, you know that. You didn't have an option. This is what's for dinner. Hey, Mom, what's for dinner tonight? Smells good. It doesn't matter because you weren't getting anything else. I don't want that. You'd soon be on the floor because some hand would be knocking you over, but those were the old days. Now, you would never think of doing that. You say, oh, I'm sorry, honey, this is all we have for you. It's the same thing your brother and sister are eating, and your father, and I'm eating. So why do you think that you should have something special? Well, Mommy, you said I was special. You are. But it's got nothing to do with food, damn it. Okay. I digress. You are an amazing violinist, an amazing pianist. But you're a pain in my ass at dinner. Okay. I make one meal and people eat it or not. And if they don't eat it, oh, you'd be pissed because I'd say, well, look, you're not going to eat it now. Look for it again tomorrow at a table near you. It doesn't stop. Yes, absolutely. It does not stop them from whining. Of course not. I don't want that. Oh, really? What did you want? Would you like to just eat ice cream and cake every night? Yay! You know how long that lasts? Maybe 2 nights. I told you I guess the research they ran, Gerber Foods ran years ago. I mean, I was a young adult, and they ran this thing where they the picture that they put up there, although they didn't do it this way, the picture was all of the different dishes that were Gerber Foods. You had the vegetables, you had the meat, all the mush, and the desserts. And the children all ate a balanced diet. So they ate, it was amazing. They ended up eating a little of this, maybe some more of that, little of that, but they ate it a balanced diet. Left to our own instincts, apparently. What is your favorite meal to eat or prepare, Joe? Oh, for me, I don't know. I love so many different kinds of foods. Listen, well, that's nothing unusual for us golfers. You get out there, you have an option usually, the clubhouse, and then they have like a halfway house, or out there they have a restroom. But if you know where it is, you can't. They're trees. That's what they're there for. Just happens. Nobody says anything about it. The Gerber baby model is still around. How old is she or he? Was a model for Gerber Foods. That's interesting. I was not. Could have been. But, so many babies could have been, but time and place, that sort of thing. I imagine if people are in the ad agency are coming up with the deal, they're going to check all the people that work with them if they have a child that they want to try this with. Well, I wonder who, I don't know who, how old the baby is. Okay. Your favorite food to make, Joe, is your signature dish, the Sloppy Joe Daddy. Ah, that's funny. The Sloppy Joe Daddy. Who's all pissed off about it? So, peeing in the park. Oh, they'll be peeing in the park. It's like dancing in the moonlight, and then dancing in the moonlight, you go, oh God, what did I step in? Ah! It's pee, actually. By nighttime, it would have, but it sounds funny. What is a sloppy Joe? It's a mix of some stuff you put in beef and mix it up. I'm not really that big a fan of it. I prefer barbecue. I love barbecue. I like minced pork barbecue. My hands are dancing in time to no music. It's mush. It's just flavorful stuff that kids like. It's not good for you, but it tastes good. When you're a kid, it tastes really good. I'm not saying I wouldn't eat one if it was put in front of me, but I don't usually eat that kind of stuff. Totally processed stuff to mix in with ground beef. I think it's red. It's like tomato somewhat based anyway. There's Gabe. How are you, sir? Still live in it. We're still living it. We're living the dream. So what's been happening in your world, Gabriel? There was something in a can, speaking of those early foods, that I'd like to have today, and I searched it out, and it was, they don't make it anymore. It was a barbecue thing in a can. God, remember the name? It was like not Uncle Ben's. It was what the hell was it? If anybody can think of it, Kathy usually remembers all that weird shit. So let me see if I can pull it up here. Don't pull it out. I didn't say pull it out. Jesus, these people. So you got to be careful. I mean, the sensors are all over me. But Cass, right? Wrong. All right. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to think of it before I put it up here. No, that's not it. mean, if it was still around, I would have devote some space in my pantry to that. Anybody thought of it yet? Because I'm just like, I can't remember. Yeah, it was so good. I must think of it. Hello, Victoria, dear. I sent you that lead for if you wanted to do the. There was a casting that was out. I didn't send it to anyone else because I didn't know who else was in New York, but I sent it to Victoria, which she didn't read. But they wanted people. There's something coming out, and I guess you'll see it. Maybe they'll show it around, but it was for New Yorkers, and you would put a mask on, and you'd be cursing, but they would blur it out so it'd be muffled. Like, I can't stand this shit anymore, you know? What the? But you'd have a mask on. So all of the New York things, you know, like, hey, forget about it, you, boop, it would all be bleep because of the mask, you see. But that everyone was wearing a mask. So it seemed like a nice gig. You could do it. You could record it in an hour. And but you weren't paid for this though. But you would have been on a popular commercial in New York. Yeah, so you should have got your mom at it. See if it's still running. I sent it to you. So you never know when Joe Daddy is going to call upon you. Hey, remember someday a godfather may call you and want a favor, you know, just someday. All right. Oh, my French God. Is that what you said? Oh, my forgetful God. Oh, my forgetful God. He seems to have forgotten a lot lately, don't you think? Yachty, you're going to go for a run and you come back as a hooker? What the hell is this all about? Oh, an escort. Excuse me. Well, let me just tell you, if you're going to escort someone, it's okay to escort them. But if you want to make real money, you're going to have to do more. Well, that's an admirable position to be in. Prone. I mean, you know, whatever. Of course, Striper is all on board for that. So you get the nice from Striper. How many more of you ladies want to be escorts? Or I wouldn't mind being your escort. You're not fooling anyone, Mr. Striper. Striper left the house to visit an escort. He hasn't returned in 6 months. You are welcome, Victoria. I don't know, it may be all done now. Maybe not. I thought maybe because your parents own a restaurant or something might be cool too. Because you want to put that picture up. Look, my mom was in that, and she can say hello to everyone. Exactly, if they pay my bills, Joe Daddy. I see. So you give it up for cash, is that right? Well, that's good. You shouldn't just give it up for free. Well, I mean, you know, it's a thought, but depends your motivation. It's all about motivation. You have to be motivated to do something. If that is what you want to do, so, oh, it's pleasurable. Just remember, when someone else is paying, they may want to do things that you don't think are as pleasurable. No, we set the guidelines. What if midstream, he, or she, but he, wants to change things up? And you're in a compromising position. Well, then, you must have money on deposit. Okay, here, $5,000 goes on deposit. And if you behave yourself, you get the other $4,000 back. That's a very trusting John, is it not? And I don't know why they call him John. Why is that? Midstream, you know, midstream of what? Who knows? Hot wax. Midstream of, I'm not going to get descriptive, but yes, you know what I mean. Yes, this body's not for free and they need to pay, right? But remember this, everyone can find money somewhere. So, and this is a sales pitch for you, if you were one of my salespeople, but I don't have any anymore. But let's say you are, and you're sitting there in front of me and I'm saying, and I own the company and I'm walking around like I do, you know. I'm wearing a zoot suit, so you know it must be Halloween for Joe Daddy. But I say, a sales are a one-time thing, right? That's a price. So that price is a one-time thing. Okay? Price is a one-time thing. Cost is a lifetime thing. So now consider that. Price. Oh, I got $1,500 from this sleazebag looking guy. Oh my God, I got $1,500. So then you walk out and you find yourself in a clinic the rest of your life. See? So, cost. So look to the Joe's bevy of, you know, prostitutes before you go out on the street at night. Check those Johns out. So eventually there'll be something that you put on their forehead. Do they have a temperature? Do they have this, that? You know, any venereal disease will come out on the printout. Well, let's just say you look fine enough. Let me clear you. Oh, splendid. That one thing's no problem for me. Okay, good. There you go. Okay, the body is not for free. Midstream. 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 You want to stop that in midstream. That's kind of hard to do. Pee, you could stop in midstream, you know, provided you're working on your Kegels and whatnot. But, yes. We'll chat soon, Jennifer. Have a lovely shower. Have a restful sleep. And remember, something important, because I have nothing to add after that. Okay, I had to unshadow this so I could read it. I get my Johns from dating sites, and I tell them to wear a condom because I don't want to catch any STD. That seems like a brilliant idea. I think that's elementary, isn't it? But you're soliciting Johns? Are you a solicitor? Are you high up the ladder? Like, are you the solicitor, a solicitor general? Perhaps. You call all the shots? I mean, you catch all the shots, of course, but, well, you know, some places. Goodbye, Jen. Darling, darling Jen. Oh, let's talk. It's girl talk, isn't it? It's girl talk with Joe Daddy. If any of you are thinking about becoming an escort, please join an agency, one of the many that Joe Daddy runs. Well, and there's Kristen, right on time with Happy Hump Day. So there you go. She walks right into the conversation and doesn't miss a thrust, a beat. Matrix Gaming, we see you here every day, so you know I'm going to just blurt out whatever the hell that means. Claire, do you operate remotely? You could be her. No, I mean, she'd have to know. The clientele might be different from. I mean, they're all out for the same thing, but they might be different. There you go. Another business contact made. Another successful day. This has been Joe Daddy. Thank you very much. I think that sounds like a line of clothing, Yachty. Available at Exactly Victoria. Okay. I'm used to working remotely. I do have a good. You have a good. I know that's some autocorrect somewhere, but it's just too funny. I have a good ant for a rat. I have a good angioplasty for a rat. I have a good anorexia rat. Anorexic rat. I have a good anorexic rat. How many syllables? I have a good ass for it. No. Well, yes, you do, but that's different. I have a good Anford. Eye for a rat. I have a good eye for a rat. Of course, how could I miss that? I have a good eye for a rat. I so love to tease when they say, oh, okay, somebody's saying, okay. Someone's sending me a joke. How can that even possibly be? Another time. Okay, it's no one here. You're at the office, so you may not be here long. Okay. Just have a wonderful day. Shit, what is that? Let me see. Isn't it? Okay, go. Bum, 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 bum. I sent you a video that I was talking about earlier about this killing in the hospital video. Okay, hon, I will read it. I will read it. Thank you. That's not what I was referring to here. Something came from someone else. I was just doing something else. Sorry, I didn't mean to drift away. Drift away. But I did. Okay. I'm teasing you, my dear. I know it's a typo. Autocorrect gets me all the time. You know that already. But that was a funny one for a rat. I like that. I knew it was an I for it, but I didn't want to give that up right away. All right. Okay, Yadi, I will look at it. In Skype. Is that a different language? I speak Skype. I do speak Skype, though. The boss is back. See you Friday. So I played golf yesterday. You know, the game where you have to gently hold your shaft, position it just perfectly in order to get the maximum result. You must gingerly, you're not holding, you're not grippy, not a death grip on it. No, you don't have to do that. But you must gently so that you can release it, so it can release. You're looking for excellent release. So gently hold the shaft, right? And you position your hands, and they have to be released just so. And your body is moving in that direction, so it releases perfectly. I mean, sometimes you want to do it, right? You're gingerly holding your shaft, and you want it to release perfectly, and it just goes everywhere. So it does take some. Griff. Griff is back. I know she likes to rub it in. Likes to rub it all over, doesn't she? Richard Smith, how are you today? How are you keeping? Everything all right? You're safe? I hope. Hey, hey, Kathy. Hey, hey, Griff. Hey, Griff. Hello, my name's Walter Haygriff. I don't say hi because I am. Walter Haygriff. I don't know where I get it. It just pops into my head and I speak it and I shouldn't. Okay. So I have a joke for you all. Okay, Griff, lay it on us, baby. Go ahead. We're waiting. It's good, Richard. Glad everything is well. Okay, go ahead, Griff. A peeping Tom and a pickpocket. What is the difference? Now give us a second. If you said a peeing Tom, I would get it, but let's see, what is it? The difference between a peeping Tom and a pickpocket, one snatches your watch and the other watches your snatch. Very nice. Very nice. Except in my case. Yachty, that's a good icebreaker for the Johns. Yachty, have you done that very often? Have you worked on your own? Is that your deal? I'm not judging. I'm just, we have people from many walks of life here. Many have been actually pole dancers, not pole vaulters like they said at first, actually pole dancers on stage. And that's okay with us. We welcome all walks of life. Whether you're flying on a trapeze, whether you're sitting in a basket, whatever you're doing is fine with us. I know where Peeping Tom came from, Charlie. I can only guess. Peeping. It's where did the Tom come from? Peeping. We get. Tom. Why Tom? Peeping Tom. Why not Peeping Matthew? It's too much. How about Peeping Joe? Too many E's. Let's see. Peeping. Peeping. Maybe it's a negative vibe to American Indians. Maybe it was Peeping Tomahawk at time. I don't know. Tom. Since high school, you've done it. And what's your specialty? No, we won't get into that. I'm sure you have a menu card. We'll have to look at that someday. There you go, looking at your feet. That would be foot fetish Tom. Sneaker Tom or toe Tom. It's a toe Tom. Toe Tom. So you call him Toe Tom. And if it's really well hung, you could call him Toe Tom Pole. I guess you didn't know him that well. Okay. Toe Tom Pole. French polishing. Ah, Claire, you're delightful. That's Kathy's expertise. French polishing. Your menu at Skype. Sure, it would be interesting to read. That will for Saturday nights. Oh, maybe Saturday nights we could have videos of such things. I think you're allowed to have that. Claire, does anyone monitor that thing? You're the person who's supposed to. I mean, Skype could be more interesting with. It could be porn Skype. Saturday porn. It could be porn it on Saturday night. Okay. Yes, Kathy. Your name, because Claire put up there it was French polishing as some sort of sexual act. Oh, sure. Now you leave. Now you leave and you don't feel like it would be appropriate for you to take us to the shower? If we took a vote here, everyone would have their hands up, saying, yes, please. But, we'll be dignified for 5 minutes. I see you were challenging your intellectual side there. Mary Lou prom night. Kathy loves hearing her name. So does Striper. Why can't you type right now? That looks fine. I'm giving you a hard time. Okay, so Striper or Danny? Danny? Hey, Danny. Striper. This is Robert Stack. Robert Stack brought to you by Unresolved Mysteries by Danny. Oh, we may indeed, if we start watching your legs. We may. I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, you can do that. Bring that one. We'll watch that. Everyone get ready. Later in the programming, we're going to have Victoria shaving her legs for us. I'm all in for that one. I'm sure. Yeah, why not? Seems like something different to do on a Wednesday. Jay Ryder. Jay, are you just in here for a moment? Now, let me see. Jay, did you say something earlier and I missed it? My, my nutbusters would have told me that, so I don't have to worry about it. So this is your first entry. I'm 60 and she's 35. Yeah. So, what's that? 25 years? Good on you, mate. Jay Ryder. Jay Ryder. That's an interesting name. We'll leave it alone right there. That's nice. Being called Striper is cool because I can leave stripes on her, if you know what I mean. Well, it depends which stripes you're leaving, mate. Okay. Later, guys. Have a good day. Okay, Victoria, we look forward to the shaving film. Thank you. The expression peeping Tom was first recorded in 1796. Alludes to the legend of the Tailor Tom, the only person to watch the naked Lady Godiva as she rode by, and who was struck blind for this sin. Well, so did they put out a bulletin, if you see Lady Godiva, you're not supposed to look at her? I mean, that's a little bit unfair for Tom. I feel bad for him. He had no idea. I mean, he was aroused by seeing this naked woman with the long hair covering her boobs, and he wanted to get a look at what he could see. You can't blame him for that. I wouldn't at all, because that is a natural thing to do. It's unnatural to become blinded because you're looking at a naked body. Although some could certainly blind you, but, be that as it may, that's not poor Tom's fault. I did not know that either, but poor Tom. I mean, was he warned? Was there no warning at all? I think that's a violation of his human rights. I told you of the time I walked up 57th Avenue, going to get a haircut, and a woman's coming this way, right? And I thought that she had maybe it was summertime, had a flesh tone top on or something. I didn't pay much attention. She was shaped nicely. She's walking to, and then as she gets closer, I see there's a little bounce in that top, and they're nipples. So I'm thinking right away, she's topless. She gets closer, and she indeed was topless. Surely someone should have been blinded by that. And I wasn't the only one that looked. May I add that too? But no one says anything. That's New York. Everybody keeps everything to themselves. Nice tits. Keeps moving. So, Dead Man and the Bullet. Oh no, we are very much good friends. So, in that regard, we are very friendly. I have a Patreon account we do for MDS. It was to help keep the lights on, and many people have, done that from early on, and so that was nice. But no, I don't think that's the way to go. I don't think it. No. How to do when someone says, "Don't do it." Far more tempting. Of course it is. But poor Tom wasn't even mentioned to him. Peepless Tom. I've done dinner theater. I sure have. I did it for quite a while. I did it, well, I say quite a while. That's when I started. I was doing leads in high school, and my mother, dear old mom, said to me, I was looking in the paper, although she didn't have a British accent at the time. And she said, they're putting whatever on. The show that I had a lead in high school was Music Man. So I went over to the theater, They had an open call. And I was a kid, so I was 17 maybe, 16 or 17. And then he said, what number do you want to do? Because they had a piano play there. And I said, I'll do Trouble. And they were like, really? Trouble? That's the leads. I said, yeah, I'll try. Boom. I knocked it dead because they were like, how's this kid even memorize that shit? Because I was doing it in high school and I knew that part already. So that was good. And that, they said, well, obviously it's a 40-year-old man, so we can't use you in that role, but you can play the teenager. So I did, and then I went on to do 5 or 6 more dinner theater productions. And then I traveled as Charlie Brown around the Northeast one summer in summer stock, and worked in Catskills and Pennsylvania Hills and that kind of stuff. Oh, yes, I did. Alice, well, thank you, Alice. That's very nice of you. Did I get paid? I got paid. When I first did dinner theater, I had an option. Well, no, the first time I got paid. So I was doing, how should I say this right? Before I knew about the pay situation, okay, I just wanted to do it, And I was at home doing nothing, and they called me. They said, we're doing The King and I. We're in the middle of this run, and we need a guard. Our guard is sick. Would you mind coming up? I said, well, I don't know the lyrics. Don't worry about it. You just stand there. You'll figure it out, or just move your lips, or just stand there quietly like a guard. So after a couple nights, because the guy never came back, I knew the song in The King and I, and it was a great production. I mean, the guy looked like Yul Brynner, and it was fantastic. I love doing that. So I was paid a stipend for that. Then the show I originally auditioned for, Music Man, was coming out, and they said, okay, here's your options. You can be paid, okay, or I wasn't old enough, but they allowed me to do it. You can wait on tables. And somebody said to me, Joe, the money's better waiting on tables. Take it. So I did, based on that person. And they were right. And I made wonderful money. Because here's the deal. I worked in a 3/4 stage and a 3/4 round. And the orchestra's in the pit in the back. That's right. They were back. They weren't seen. And we would disappear in the back. So I would have these buses of ladies come in. Old ladies, probably my age now. And they would sit there, and I would go up to them, and I'd say, would you care for a drink? They go, oh, yes, I have this. And I would bring back these trays, okay. And then, oh, no, ma'am, you can pay at the end, okay, which was perfect, because then there was an intermission. So I'm performing, and then I come up to them, and they realize I'm their waiter. Okay, no, ma'am, that's all right, wait till the end. And then in my last scene, I'm singing. When I'm singing right to those ladies at the table, winking. I made bank every night. Just some cute little kid. Oh, you're so cute. Give me the fucking money. That was great. Great fun. Otherwise, I would have made like $100 a week. I can make that in a night. How about that? And I was just a kid. No, I'm not singing the King and I song. There were some great songs in that show, though. There's a song that was, I have to remember now. It was one of my favorites, and I used to do that one. I Have Dreamed. Go to King and I and type in I Have Dreamed and listen to that song. I love that. I used to love to belt that song anyway. I did do well, not like a bandit. I had to work for it, but yes. That's the difference between me and a bandit. A bandit doesn't work for it. How does it feel being with a younger woman? Alice, how old are you? Oh, now you're doing theater, dinner theater now. Good for you. I left kind of the live theater thing, except last live stuff I did was Saturday Night Live, but I don't, live theater for me now, having done that when I was younger, um, it's the same night. It's over and over, the same thing over and over again. It's good to work if you're getting paid. And even if it's community theater and you want to do it, I encourage everyone to do those things. But once you've been paid to do stuff, it's kind of really you don't waste the time to do. I know it sounds terrible because it should be love for the arts. Well, there's a love for eating too. So no, I have a dream about you. No, this is the king and I. This is not little Anthony and the Imperials. Come on. One of the lines is, "I have dreamed that your lips are lovely." It's a great song, and I'd have to look at the lyrics to try to do it. Maybe I'll do that when I hook up the guitar and do it properly in the next few days. Okay, Anna and the King. That's right, Griff. What was that one? He's the eighth old man. That's Enery. Enery the eighth I am. Unless you are Sam or Charlie. What's this? Ah, experience an older guy. Now there's you could dissect that. You know, just because a guy is older doesn't mean he's experienced in what you're looking for. Just remember that. Okay. I have done commercial theater for 14 years. Hey, good, Richard. That's terrific. So you are paid then. You do commercial theater. So you're an equity member, I imagine. I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA. But I've done plays non-union as a non-union member before. It's not quite as pleasing as when you can get scale. So Charlie's a commercial actor then. Good for you. Richard is. Richard. So Richard, what part of the country do you live in? I may have asked you before. Hopefully they start rehearsal soon and you have a nice long run. Community theater is very fulfilling. Um, you know, there are some wonderful community theaters around the country, and very good performers have been discovered there. I started in, doing theater in high school. In college, as a music and drama major, and I never used any of it. Never used any of it until I relocated to New York, and I met some people, and they say you should try this, and then it took off. Next thing I knew, I was doing TV shows, and I was in LA doing a film, and I was in all these different states doing commercials, and I really enjoyed it. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing it. But when you're getting paid to do it, to travel, they're paying you. They give you the hotel, they give you food. You have a driver pick you up. You do that. You do your parts, and you fly out. And that is really cool to do. It doesn't happen enough though. But that's what you want. That's what you want. And it's not so good now. Hutchinson, Kansas. Kansas, of the Dorothy and the Slippers, Kansas. Are you a Kansas City Chiefs fan? But that's, I know on the other, that's Missouri. Shoeless Joe. Community theater. Well, you know, if you ever wanted to go the other way, it's fun. Go the other way, Charlie. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you want to perform professionally, you should give it a shot. Send your resume around. One thing you could do, if you are able to travel, you could do summer stock and you could travel around the country. The difference living probably where you are, certainly where I'm living today, the difference is when I lived in New York City, and that's where I started it professionally. Well, not really started, it was outside of DC, but I waited 30 years. So yes, in New York. You have so many opportunities to audition. I've said here before many times, could have 5, as many as 6 auditions in one day in New York. So imagine the opportunity. I mean, it could be for film, television. And I didn't do stage work then. I was asked to, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. There was just so much going on. You could do a commercial here, you could audition there, you'd be on hold for this, hold for that. It was exciting and frantic, but you get involved in it. And, you know, what I used to love so much, because you could work all night. I worked all night several times. And you know that, oh man, I've got 2 days, I'm taking nothing, turn my phone off. Yeah. It's fun. Northwest, west of Wichita. I am a lineman for the county. Something like that. Okay. Well, there are many women who become pregnant that are actors. At Juilliard. Juilliard was right out my window. I lived in the west side of Manhattan. Yeah. Lincoln Center. Juilliard is right there. I had a view of the fountains at Lincoln Center. It was very nice. Fatal Attraction, Michael Douglas. That's interesting. You say that. I had the opportunity to stand in for Michael Douglas. I couldn't make it for, I forget what I was doing something. They said, come on, Joe, this could be good to stand in for Michael Douglas. I said, I'm in the second day of filming. I can't say no. Too bad. Interesting that you mentioned that. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. In fact, The King and I was based on the life of Anna. What is that? Leonowens? I don't know. Who spent 6 years in Siam, the court of King Mongkut, teaching his children. That's interesting. I didn't know that. It's a small world. So, Richard, let me see. Out there. Are you retired, Richard, or still working? It's difficult to just pick up as we get older. Sometimes it's easier when you get older, but when you have a family and all, it's difficult to just pick up and go. When you're a kid, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood. Never happened. I wasn't even thinking of it. A steamy shower. Now, Yachty, I'm sure you have film. I mean, given your propensity for that end of the entertainment industry. So I'm just saying. Inquiring minds want to know. I get texts, left and right from everyone. Joe, ask Yachty. So you can still become an actor. I wanted to go study Juilliard. Okay. Fun fact. Griff is full of fun facts. Well, I tell you what. My experience, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, there's scale, so you're guaranteed scale anyway if you're working in the union. Otherwise, it's a negotiated sum, or they just tell you this is what we're paying you. So it does it. So there are varying degrees of payment for whatever you do. If you're a U5, it's under 5 lines on a live show, you get X. Over 5 lines, they have to pay you principal money. I believe it's principal. So I mean, there are a lot of different things that can boost you, and you get boosted when you do film. Not so much television. I did film, but no, television too. If, for example, it's raining, you get a bump. We call them bumps. I mean, you can get a paycheck. You say, shit, I got $600. I thought I was getting $3 because you got bumped for missing a meal. You don't miss a meal. See, if you're union, there's a union guy that checks in and he wants to know, okay, did they have a meal time? Yes, they did. If you're non-union, they don't, you're just there to work for cheap. But if you're union and it started raining, I said, why did I get some money? Well, it started raining. You get paid for that. So, different stuff that you didn't plan on happening. If you have to work around smoke, you get paid more money. I mean, there are a lot of bumps along the way you can get. You bump it up. And here's a good one. Doesn't happen much anymore. But let's say, for example, as an extra, as a union extra, you're going to get $350 for 8 hours. If it goes over into, if it goes over 12 hours or whatever it goes over to, if you get past midnight, you get, you were getting $350, for 8 hours, right? And you got past 12 hours, I believe it is. There's a time, and if somebody's listening that knows now, and I'm not on it, but this is the idea. At some point, if you are still working, you get that $350 per hour. So it's incumbent upon the producers to make sure that the director is on schedule. Directors are in another world. They're like, yeah, bada bing, I want to do it again, and the producer comes and says, you. Now there are a lot of different producers. Okay, PGAs are producers that really work in it. You see executive producer, that you just see a producer, but they're putting money into it or a part of it. But PGAs, they really work in it. So a producer comes over and says, or an assistant to the director says, look, we're pressed up against time, we're up against time. I was shooting once where we have 5 minutes to get this right. Otherwise, it's another 10 grand because we rented the facility for $10,000 for the day. And our time was up. It's it's pressured. But as an actor, you are supposed to look as fresh as when you started 7 hours ago, as in the last take you're doing. And that's where it becomes difficult. Anyway, there's very good money and there's very little money in it, but it depends. You just have to persevere. I'm very passionate about it. I love doing it. Now, I mean, in Florida, there's nothing. I have to go out of state to do commercials most of the time. But that's if they want me. So I audition, I set up, I have, of course, lights and all that stuff, so I do all my own. I don't mail it in. I self-submit, it's called. Self-tape. So, anyway. Yeah, those Sonic guys, they're making bank. You can bet on that. And also, they're like Flo, right? From the insurance company. These people that you identify, even that guy Jamie on that same insurance. You identify with them now. When you work I had a manager in New York, but I didn't really need him. And what happens is, if you get picked for a sitcom, you just take scale. If it gets extended, and there are so many sitcoms that you will do pilots for, and they never appear anywhere. And then if they bring them in 10 years, they're not going to use you because they're going to use someone at that same age when you're 10 years younger. So you get paid for just doing that thing. They have these things like, if it gets picked up, we'll talk to you again. If it gets picked up, they'll talk to you again. And most of the time, the people that are paying may want someone that everybody recognizes their face right away doing your role, and you're screwed out of it. If there's a lot of luck in this business, a lot of luck in the business. I think Morgan Freeman says, is it Morgan Freeman? I think so, yeah. Who says, you have to be at the right place at the right time. But the key is, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. It's very important. Whenever that time comes. Not talking about knowing the lines. How could you possibly know the lines of where you're going? You have to be prepared mentally that today is my break, and I've got to give it my best shot. It's true. Be prepared, man. You have to be prepared. This is what I want to do. Not, oh my shit, now, oh my God, now how am I going to do this? You know you're going to do it. Just fucking do it. Auditioning is very hectic, very hectic. So submitting tapes myself here is a lot more enjoyable, even though it takes a hell of a lot longer. Why does it take longer? If I go to an agent's or to a casting director, I don't go to an agent's office ever. You go to the casting director. The agent gets you to the casting director. It's bullshit. But anyway, you have to do the way it's set up. So you go to a casting director's office, and they say, okay, you got the lines right. All right. Boom, all right, or you're reading on cards, or whatever you're going to do. You give your best shot. Usually they say, okay, do it again. Boom. And bang. Okay, thanks, Joe. We'll see you. That's it. Good seeing you again. And you drive 2.5 hours home. Here, if I say I'm going to South Beach. In New York, you do it, boom, 5 minutes, you're in a subway, you're back home. So it takes longer to do your own because when we set up to do it here, we think we know perfection. We think we know what is the best. So you could do 10 takes. And then you're going to narrow it down to 5 of your takes and then you're going to narrow it down to, and you're basing everything on what you think is your best audition, and you send it in. But here's the thing. The person with the money, so all of these tapes go into whomever. Maybe an assistant is looking at them, and the busy person says, look, yeah, take 10 people that you really think are good, and hopefully you fall in that 10 people out of like 30 or 50 or 100. So you fall into it, and then they're going to look at you. And then it's like, yeah, everybody says, yeah, that guy, Jolie, I like him. And the guy that makes the decision, I kind of like the other guy. We'll go with the other guy. Boom, case closed, done. Okay, boss. That's it. That's how it works. Shit out of luck. You gotta just fucking do it. Gotta just fucking do it. When it's your time, do it. Do it. A ball of random trivia. I like that. I like fun facts too. Oh yeah, man. I mean, the money was so good. And once I didn't finish that thought. So once you get a sitcom or something like that, and they want you back, then your manager comes in. Then you need representation, so they negotiate. But there's a fine line. I mean, you'd have to really be, oh my God, they love you in this. They can't wait to see you again. The fans, the fan mail coming, oh my God, who's this guy? Who's this guy? We want him back. That means a lot to those people that are making the decisions, because they can say to their advertisers, look, everybody loves Richard Smith. They love this guy. They love him. And it's going to mean more products sold for you. So are you going to re-sign him? We certainly are. They are coming back to you after they realize they're going to have the money. It's all about money. It's all about money. I once did a movie, and I had a particular look. And so I'm at a cocktail party, and you know Ian McShane. Ian McShane was in this. Was a TV show. Ian McShane, wonderful, very nice man, very nice. So I chatted with him a while, but anyway, so they placed me somewhere. I was just behind. I was off from him in the back, a cocktail party, and I'm looking this way. Not him. You don't look. You just, like I'm looking here. I'm cheating the camera, and I'm just looking past, and I'm looking, having cocktail. And so you don't know about this stuff. Suddenly, and so at the next break, okay, cut. We're going to do it again. In the interim, before we start again, they say back to ones. You start a scene at 1, you go to the end, then they say back to 1, you go do it again. Before we go back to 1, an assistant, a production assistant comes up to me and says, Joe, they want you over here. So they're moving me in a different position, because the director looked at this, and they look now, they used to look and sit in the big, watch the big, scenes behind, Now they carry iPads and they're watching it as you go. Even as you're filming, they can be walking down the hall. It's good, it's good, it's good. It's crazy. But anyway, they're looking either at the monitor or an iPad. He says, and this is the stuff they look for. It's phenomenal. They look for it. Okay, my eyes are drifting to that guy is there, because I'm thinking, who is that guy? Meaning me. Who is that guy? He looks familiar. Who is that guy? He says, I'm looking at this, and I don't want to be distracted by anybody behind. The principal's talking. So move him. And I got moved out of that scene. And they told me. And afterwards he says, it happens. It happens. You might look like Michael Douglas. You might look like whomever. And people say, is that so? It's taking away from the scene. So that happens too. You never know. It is a tough, tough business. Yes, and so about that money thing, Richard, Jerry Seinfeld was making $1 million an episode, like a couple years before the others. They were making like 200,000. I know that's a lot of money. But, I mean, okay. Yeah, and the rest are newcomers. Yeah, that's it. I mean, because here's the deal. Anyone, not anyone, because everybody is not into that. But most people, certainly anyone in the industry, would go take those gigs. They're happy to get anything. First of all, they're going to get recognition, and they're going to get paid at least scale. So what the guy with all the pull is getting, he should get more money. There are inequities in that. I mean, you pay your dues kind of thing. It's really wild. It is so crazy. I was thinking I got moved out of something else once. Ted Danson once did me a favor. I was in this scene, and Ted Danson, and I'm 5'9", and Ted Danson's like, and the woman they brought in was, and they say, okay, boom, Joe, we're gonna have to move you for balance, right? I mean, I'm not Danny DeVito down here, but so that's cool. And then, so I went off the wings, they were in the wings, and then I heard, Joe Leon, come on set. So I went back on set. And Ted said, that wasn't fair. He was in the scene with me. Put him over there because he had pull. So I was in the scene. My friend once said to me, were you in this TV show with Ted Danson? I said, well, I didn't know if they showed me. He said, yeah, you were right there. It's cool. So. He was allergic to the makeup. How about that? Interesting. I didn't know that. So it is a real, it's a real, just talking to you guys makes, just giving some experience of my experience is that I was asked to go on this acting thing and just talk about this kind of stuff. I should have done. Okay. Yeah, Ted Danson, nice guy. Man, he could screw his lines up better than anyone. I was watching what? Oh, I was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yesterday, and this happened to me once when I was filming out in LA. You have script supervisors, all right? Script supervisors who sit there and they're paid to follow verbatim what's going on. Now, she will not say, and it's usually a woman, they're usually smarter, so she will not say anything unless she's supposed to interrupt. I mean, that's up to the director. Okay? Sometimes he will say, cut. Were those the lines? He said we are rather than he is, or something like that. He is, or he'll leave one word out. And the director will make a decision. It was a great shot. Forget it. Leave it. Okay, leave it. You want to be on point with your script, but during Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they were filming this on purpose, it happened, of course, when Leo DiCaprio, in his role, he was sitting there and he couldn't remember the line. And he said, he was sitting there right in the middle, he goes, right in the scene, he goes, line, and you hear this woman say, blah, 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 blah. I go, so fucking remember. Okay, ready? And he takes it again. And they start it again, and he does it. And then he gets really upset at himself and does it. But line. So once filming, I'm the principal, we're doing a scene. And I drew a blank. And that seemingly is so embarrassing, you're just pissed. And I go, and I didn't do it, but once I went, line. She read the line, okay. And the director says, it's all right, just back to one, we'll start it over. So now there's more pressure. You're going to do these other lines, and you get to that one point, you don't want to miss that line again. And I didn't, but sometimes you just take a breath. I say, I wanted to tell you that, Claire. And you forget that. So you go, oh, screwed, okay. I wanted to tell you that, Claire. So you go back and do it, and they fix it. Nobody knows. Yeah. Just from my experiences, I can talk about that stuff, about where you look on the camera, your point, your eye line. You need an eye line. I just always say they're filming. It's okay. Where am I looking? Because as actors, we know spiking the camera, breaking the fourth wall. You never look in the camera unless you are doing a commercial or something like that. So, unless they tell you to. So, you just don't. I mean, you know the cameras are there. Of course. Just look at the wall where you are. You can see the plug on the wall. You can see whatever. You know the cameras are there moving around, but you're not looking. You're not bothered by that. You are concentrating on what they told you to look at. Now, sometimes you can look at someone's eyes, but sometimes they say, no, that's not enough. Look, I need you to look over here. So don't look at her, because you look at her, it's not going to look awkward. So I want you looking here. So she says something to you, and you are like you're looking in her eyes and you're talking to a blank space. I know that. Of course, that's right. Got it. It's crazy. Craziness. What happened to Patricia Arquette? Um, I'm trying to remember. I have to look at my resume. The TV show I was on with that, and that was oh, it was the shortish guy with the thick dark hair. I forget his name. I was in something else with him. He was also in. You know what happens? I'll tell you what happens when you work in New York for a while and you're doing this stuff. You constantly update your resume. So shows you were on, depending on the role and the exposure, you just go by that in the beginning. You start deleting stuff above it. It was a lesser role, lesser role. So some things just got blown away, but yeah. Sometimes they put them up on cue cards for you if you can't remember certain things. Uh, Interesting note that Marlon Brando never remembered his lines. He didn't. I mean, he may have remembered some, but he was constantly reading. If you see the scene where he's talking to Michael in The Godfather, you know he's older now, and Michael's taking over, and he's sitting drinking wine. He's outside by the garden or wherever the hell he is drinking, and he says he's talking to Michael, and he says Michael is right there. He says, "Pop, drinking wine is good for you." Yeah, I'm drinking more lately. Yeah. But he says something like, he's like, while he's thinking to look like he's thinking for his son to give him this information. He's thinking, um, if you be careful. No, this is the scene about if whoever comes to you is a traitor, right? So remember, whoever comes, but he's looking. He goes, and whoever, and he's glancing. You see him glancing over here. He used to have his lines on a glass board, and they wrote in, I think, in white. It was a black glass thing, and they used to write his lines on. I guess they printed it out well for him, and you could see him. He goes like this, and then he comes back and reads his lines. But you know, he was a legend. Yeah, he would. Well, he was terrible with his lines. Point of view, yeah. Well, we've all seen Point of View. You usually see a lot of that on. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I know. Well, he could do that. Believe me. Any extra steps you have to add if you're not a star, I don't think they're going to do. But I had 1,500 words to learn for a movie. I think it was 1,500. And the producer would call me, Joe, how are you doing? How you doing? Good. How long before you're off book? I said, I'll be off book in a week. Really? I said, yeah. This is something I've mentioned here before as well. So if you have a part and you happen to be in the movie, television show, essentially from beginning to end, so you're throughout the production, and you learn it from the first scene all the way through to the end. And if you are in, let's say you come in the second scene and you're there till the end, and you're so prepared, you can do it in your sleep. And when you go on set, you're in California, New York, wherever you are, and they said, okay, today we're going to start with scene 6. So now you realize that you started out with a scene where you met the other characters. You were introduced, meeting the other characters. You were revealed, meeting the characters. But we're going to start with scene 6 where you know all of them, you know everything about them. So you are acting that way instead of the first scene that you're acting like you just met them. But because it is all acting, we film the first scene many times the last day. And the reason for that is it depends on scheduling. They may schedule more extras for a scene, a big scene in a restaurant, and they have them all in the building they have for that day. And it just happens to be when you're filming, you go do that first. Because when they film you meeting this one person, it's just the two of you, so they can put it anytime. Interesting stuff. Anyway, it doesn't go from beginning to end. It jumps around. And that's kind of interesting too. But so many things are interesting that if they want you to have a slight accent, if they want you to have this or that, you can't then, and they see it in that, they have to remind you when you go back to the beginning because you might screw up. All of these things come together and everything looks natural, but sometimes there's a lot of things that go on that are very interesting. I think having an earpiece would be, I mean, I could see where it might help you getting the lines, but it would be distracting, especially if you are kind of into it. And if there's ever any room for improv, when they tell you that, we love that. Yeah. Yep, in his ear. John Wayne used to have an interesting thing. John Wayne was good at his lines, apparently, and which I find very interesting. Some people need to really get into the character, and they're better for it. I mean, one of our most wonderful, gifted actors is Meryl Streep. She really gets in that role. She was in the role when she did The Devil Wears Prada. They said she came out of the cab right out. She was that way, and for her makeup and all those people talk to her, she's talking to her just like that boss. She's staying in that character the whole way. On the other hand, John Wayne would, they said, are you ready? But he's chatting with some, hands, some people there. And the director's like, okay, John, we're getting ready to say, yeah, I'll be ready. And he's laughing, he's doing whatever. And when they said action, boom, he could turn it on just like that. And he would be in his deal. So many of those great guys, they were great at what they did. That nuance, that little stuff is really, everybody has their own little way. In auditioning, for me, I have to, what I call, walk into a line. Okay? I walk into the line. In my mind, I'm walking into the line. It's nothing more than if the line was because I just saw it. Let's say, because I just saw it. I would think to myself, I'd have to know. I would be saying to myself in my head, why do you say that? And I'm walking into it. I'm bringing myself into that line silently to give a, because I'm going like, why do you say that? Because I just saw it. So, you know what? It's a continuation. It's like a running start. It gives me a running start. It's just little stuff that I picked up for myself, even auditioning. I like to do that. I like to be talking ahead of time rather than a standing broad jump. I rather run and jump. So I'd rather, as I say, walk into the line anyway. So just the way people do things differently. On stage, and Richard would tell you, on stage a lot of times, when I used to do that, I would come out and improv, even though it's not in there, you're coming out of a door before you deliver your line. Yeah, I heard you. Something like that. Okay, we'll see you. Maybe it's not in the play. Yeah, sure. Bye. And then boom, it would give me a start, because I would ask, is it okay for me to pick this up first before I start that, or to do this? I like to have the motivation is there to give a line, but I like to have the physical action ahead of time. That's why when they film television and TV, television and movies, I should say TVs and movies, is they say, right, action, right, when you go action. They say that's to me, if I have lines, action. Not if you are background, extras. You want people already walking on the street, right? They're already walking on the street because you're wired, you have a boom over you, and they say, you know, they have speed sounds rolling, you know, we're rolling, and the director will go, background. And when you hear that, the background starts walking, the street becomes busy, the cars start moving, and then when he's ready, he says, action, then you start. Little tip, okay. Yeah. So it's all just kind of crazy stuff. And you don't, and one thing that Richard will agree, you don't learn all of that. You don't learn all of that your first day. I mean, you screw up and do shit all the time. And, you know, I was standing in for somebody. It was a principal, and I forget the actor. He's well known. And we're chatting, and we're just having a ball chatting. And I'm standing where he is at the podium, and we were the same height and everything. And when you're standing, you get paid really well too. So I'm standing, and you're not going to be in it. But the reason why you have a stand-in, when I have done movies, I've had stand-ins, but I was a stand-in this time in New York, and they're paying you well as a stand-in, and so you are there in position because they're getting makeup, they're doing whatever, they're on break. But so you'll be a 2. When you're a principal, you're a 1. The 2s are the stand-ins. So they would call for the 2s. So my job was to stay in the wings. When he left the scene to go stand in, be around whenever the director wanted. They'd be setting up a new scene for that guy to come in and do his lines. They did this for me. This is how it goes. They want someone there so that they can get the light. They get the mics. They get everything. Joe, give me a read. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, good. The lighting, turn this way. Great. We got the lighting for him, everything. Okay. Give me the wands. So the guy talks to get the wands. The wands come out of the dressing room over. They walk in and you take off. So that everything is already set up. You're the same height. You're the okay. But I was sitting there talking. So I really like this guy, and he comes up, and we're talking, and I'm just standing where he's supposed to be, and we're chatting, and we're talking about stuff, and you know, and an assistant director had to come over and say, because to me, you know, I was nobody, but this guy was something. He said, okay, guys, we need to know. I said, oh, yeah. And he's like, okay, Joe, I need to say, oh, of course, you know, I was so enthralled with our conversation. I forgot while I was there, why I was there. And I had to move out of his way so I could go sit down and watch it. It was fun, though. Anyway, you have to be aware when you're on a set. You could get hit in the head by something flinging around. When those crews get moving, they want all the actors out. Even the seconds, they want you out, but you need to be out of the way. Just get out of the way, because those guys, those union guys, are like, they're busting their asses getting stuff done. It's all time and money, you know. So, Joe's acting corner. About the business. I'll have to check out Peep Show. Sometimes when you, in dinner theater, when I was getting paid with tips, I would screw up on purpose. I mean, I saw the benefit of, director would say to me, why are you're opening up? I wanted you over there. I said, my table was here. Does it really matter that much? Yeah, he chewed me out for that. But yeah, it matters because I'm the director and this is where you're supposed to be. So you learn. You learn. But I learned early on, very early on, I've said this before, when I would take a phone, today they take them because they silence them or whatever, I would turn mine off and stick it in the room that is being guarded with all of our personal belongings. I never took it off. I had seen so many times filming sitcoms and stuff, sitcoms or dramas, whatever, in New York, and the guy's getting ready to deliver a line. I remember Dennis Leary getting ready to just, this is his line, and he hears this. He went off, man. He went off. Oh, man. And the director said, okay, look, Dennis, go take a walk. So then we were in a restaurant that had been rented out for the day, and he goes over and he's pacing outside. He's just pissed. And then the guy just lays into everyone. You know, I understand these things. They can happen again because he's trying to keep not everybody too nervous of what's going on. But you have to turn those phones off. If I hear a phone again, you'll be fired on the spot. Just remember that. I knew early on to not even bring a phone in that I'd bump it the wrong way, could activate anything. I got rid of it. But when you're a principal, you have your phone and you have an assistant. Everybody has an assistant. So I come off in the ring and say, here, Joe, here's your phone. Thanks. I mean, it's so great to be king, right? One time I was like talking to somebody helping. I'm in the wings. Is water in that cooler over there? I'll go get it. Before I could turn around, boom, a bottle of water was right in front of me. I was going to get I don't care. But they are paid to, everybody has, the principals all had an assistant stay with us the whole way. That's cool stuff. Leave our world alone, COVID. Yeah. You know, everyone says that, Kathy. It's stuck in my head. Angela said when I first wrote that, and she says, you know, that's pretty catchy. You should record it. I said, yeah, why not? Someday we'll do it again. Well, listen, this has been a fun morning for me. I was able to talk about something I'm very passionate about, other than all of you I'm passionate about. So same time on Friday, as far as I know. And we're still shooting for Saturday night. Glad you were here, Richard. Thanks for bringing me into the nostalgia mode. It's good to see you, Claire. Griff was here. Jay Ryder was here. And thank you for the Fatal Attraction compliment. I was in a show, you remember Fatal Attraction, with, who played in that? Who was, what is it? Glenn Close. Yeah, it was with Glenn Close. She's tiny. Oh my God, I had no idea she was about as big as this bottle. I had no idea. So everybody, Alice wants the experience of an older guy. Did Alice tell us how old she was? Anyway, not for me. I was just, before I answer a question like that, I'd like to know how old someone is. From Clearwater. All right, Clearwater, Florida, over there on the other coast. Clearwater, that's a lovely coast over there. You're close to Tampa? Yeah, I think. Maybe, maybe not. Clearwater. Bye-bye, Griff. Good to see you. Griff, we'll see you Saturday night, right? I hope so. See you all later. Richard, thanks again, everyone. Good to see you all. Ooh, Charlie and Striper, Kathy, Claire, Striper, Griff. Yachty went to take a shower and she's going to promise to show us some film. Evidently, she's been doing something for a long time. Don't give up that dream, Kathy. Don't do that. Kathy had a dream of being an actor, and Alice, you have a dream of being with older guys. I think all of those are attainable for both of you. And don't forget the King and I song. I think it's I Have Dreamed. Let me check this because this is a good one. Actually, I'm going to bring it up, see if I know it. But let me put it here on this. I can close with a little bit of YouTube music. Yes, I Have Dreamed, The King and I. They had it here by Frank Sinatra as well. Here's The King and I.
I have dreamed that your arms are lovely. I have dreamed what a joy you'll be. I have dreamed every word you'll whisper when you're close to me. How you look in the glow of evening. I have dreamed and enjoyed the view.
Punch it.
In these dreams I loved you so that by now I think I know what it's like to be loved by you. I will love you.
That's a great song for me. I love that song. I will love being loved by you. Yes, that's a great title for the memoirs of Joe Daddy. Everybody, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks.